robust crowd. I appreciate that very, very much. And you actually even responded to it, so thank you very much. I want to welcome each and every one of you here today. My name is John Barry. I serve COTC as the president. And today we're going to have some crucial conversations together. And that's what this will be, is a conversation. We want to share with you some information that we have about some important developments within all of our communities. We really want to hear some thoughts that you may have as well and answer questions that you might have. So this is the third of our press conferences related to sort of our institutional commitments. You have several individuals that you're going to meet today. Our commitments to continuing to help our communities flourish, to continue to meet the new and burgeoning demands of what advanced manufacturing offers within our communities. It's to serve those who have made these communities proud and are tried and true in these areas, and it's also to serve the new burgeoning partners who are new to our communities, who will bring prosperous opportunities as well. So this is the third of our press conferences. We started this yesterday. We actually have a couple of repeat offenders in the room. Thank you for coming back for one more time. We appreciate that. We were able to present in Pataskala yesterday and also in our Knox County communities as well. And it just so happened that Channel 6 News came to actually capture some of what we did within Pataskala. And I don't know if any of you happened to watch Channel 6 News last night, but we had a nice feature with COTC and with CTEC as well. But I was anxiously awaiting, I knew it was coming. And first we had to sit through all the mass shootings, so that was exciting. And then I had to hear all about the lack of baby formula in the United States. And then it was us, so I was pleased with that. So today we were going to really share with you from a Licking County-centric perspective what this means to all of us. So allow me first and foremost to recognize some of our elected officials and government appointees that are here today. I would like to say, and special recognition to Kathleen Young-Riley from the governor's office. She was there yesterday and came back for more, so I appreciate that very, very much. Thank you. We also have both Mayor Jeff Hall from Newark and we have Mayor Mark Johns from Keith, both here with us today, and we appreciate that. And we have City Councilman Mike Hauser, who is here as well. Appreciate you all being here and part of this discussion. I have some formal pieces that I want to share with you and then some informal dialogue, but let me start off with more of the formalities. So for 50 years, COTC has prepared the region's workforce with skilled, career-ready graduates of our in-demand technical degree and certificate programs. I'm proud to say that through the decades, countless COTC alumni have enjoyed long and successful careers with many local manufacturers and industries. And we will proudly continue to serve as a significant workforce pipeline for our existing industry partners. But for many years, Central Ohio was almost a secret stronghold of high-tech industries and advanced manufacturing. Now, as we all know way too well, we are not a secret any longer. We are a strength, and that's what we're going to speak about today. Indeed, over the past few years, the region first earned the moniker Ohio's Technology Corridor, thanks to the arrival of high-profile companies such as Amazon, Google, Facebook, which helped accelerate and increase the high-tech industrialization of our area. And now, due to Intel's announcement in January that they will invest $20 billion in 2 semiconductor manufacturing facilities in Licking County, creating 3,000 permanent jobs, we've earned yet another moniker as the nation's future Silicon Heartland. That's an interesting moniker. I like it, I think. It's one that is continuing to grow on me because, again, who we have been as advanced manufacturers to this point has been significant. This is a new partner, and we're excited about that, but we want to respect and appreciate those that built this foundation and this process. With this exceptional growth, we now find ourselves speaking in terms of the region's rapidly expanding technology ecosystem. Growth and change are at our door, and that's a lot to live up to. But I'm here to tell you today that Central Ohio Technical College and our partners are ready for this process. We are ready to help all of Central Ohioans live up to the promise of opportunity that is before us. Adapting and changing are what we do, and we do it well. As I said earlier, we've been at this for about 50 years, so when we see change coming, and right now we're looking at technological and industrial change on a scale we've never experienced before, we have to get ready, and we have to be ready to serve. We review our academic programs, we meet with industry to learn about their needs, and we get to work. I will tell you that we have a lot of hard work ahead of us, redefining how Central Ohio Technical College will prepare the workforce tomorrow for both established and new industries. Today, I want to share that vision with you, so let me talk a little bit about that. It's a vision to build upon collaboration and partnerships with middle and high schools, career and technical centers, and four-year universities. It includes the use of multiple classroom modalities and locations, a deep commitment to affordability, and most importantly, to success for all students, no matter their educational backgrounds or experiences. Part of this vision also includes the reinvention of COTC's engineering programs. So that is going to be somewhat of a linchpin in some of our conversations today. How do we utilize what has been successful with current partners, expand upon that, and expand those opportunities to new partners such as Intel and other semiconductor manufacturers and the suppliers that they will bring into this network. As Intel has publicly stated, they plan to hire 70% of their Ohio workforce at the associate's degree level. While the name Intel draws welcome attention to the relevance of associate's degrees, this educational construct is something that our local industries have understood and appreciated for decades. Applied associate's degrees offer excellent career-ready training and skills. First, we're going to hear from Dr. Eric Heiser. Let me introduce our panel because they're great friends and great colleagues. So Dr. Eric Heiser serves COTC as the provost. So he is over academic programming and student support services. Then you will hear from Dr. Joyce Malainy, a good friend and colleague who happens to also be the superintendent of CTech. And then you will hear from my collaborator, Dr. Bill MacDonald, who is the Dean Director of the Ohio State University at Newark. You'll see a spectrum of educators, what we do, how we do it, how we plan to engage with this entirety of the process. So let me bring Dr. Heiser to the podium, and he'll tell you a little bit more specifics about what our intentions are.
All right, good morning. Third time through, I think we'll be able to get this one pretty good. So I started off each of our first two with the moniker that COTC is open for business. What that really means is we're, for the last couple of years, we've been refining our engineering programs to get to a space that we knew we needed to get to even before a certain announcement of a certain company was made a couple of months ago. And that was that we needed to focus on the technician level training. We needed to think about the inch deep and mile wide moniker as opposed to the mile deep and inch wide, especially at the associate's degree level. Our industry partners that have stayed with us, that were here with us before the announcement and then obviously will be with us after, had told us as much. We need you to focus on delivering good technicians that are well-rounded and then let us take care of the rest. So that was, again, something that we started 2 years ago as we started to refine what programs we had. We did take some of our programs out and focused more on the highly skilled and highly in-demand areas. So what that left us with was a couple of very good programs that, again, align very, very well to the semiconductor industry and specifically to Intel. The degree that we'll focus on the most is our Associate of Applied Science in Electrical Engineering and Technology. That is a mouthful. We call it the AAS in EET because we love acronyms in higher ed. But essentially that degree is one where probably 90% of the skill sets already involved within that degree are something that a student can take to a semiconductor manufacturer, Intel and others, or their suppliers, and again, be 90% of the way there. We do have some specific programming that we'll be adding to that degree with regard to coursework and wafer board and wafer technology, but really we have a very, very strong foundation. The program itself is accredited by what we call in the higher ed business specialized accreditor. So the college itself has an accreditation from the Higher Learning Commission that essentially says that everything that we do is of quality nature and up to a certain standard. And then a lot of our programs hold the moniker of being specialized or specially accredited. And that's yet another level that can let our students and the general public know that this program has taken on an even higher set of standards and expectations. So the specialized accreditor for our EET program is called ABET, and they are a nationally, actually internationally known accreditor for engineering programs. So the program itself is open and ready for business, and the key that we talked about this morning is we've got to get students. The line that I used yesterday is, I needed students yesterday. 2025 may sound like a long way away, but given that these are 2-year associate degree programs, and given that many of our students attend part-time due to familial or job and other duties, they can only attend part-time. So we've got to get them in the door just as quickly as possible. And that's what we're talking about here today. So as we look at our extended campuses, each of our extended campuses is obviously going to play a role, but Newark is the mothership. So this is where a lot of the heavy skill training will be taking place. This is where a lot of our high-tech equipment already exists, and this is of course where our partners at CTech are located as well. And so for the work that we deal with with regard to practical instruction, hands-on instruction, the vast majority, at least to start in this degree, will be right here at the Newark campus. We're working as well because, as I alluded to, these are working adults. These are adults that in many cases have many competing priorities. So we're trying to make the program as flexible as possible. That means being able to do some of their coursework online and at a time and a place that works for them. It means being more flexible in the times that we offer open lab time and giving students the ability to come and work on evenings and weekends within the labs so that they can get through the material that they need to get through at a time that works for them. I've told a lot of people, since COVID, the idea that higher ed institutions are going to dictate to their students how and when they attend, we can kiss that goodbye because the students have now seen a level of flexibility within their higher ed providers, and they don't want to go back. And frankly, we don't want to go back either. We want to be as flexible and nimble as we can with our students and allow them the ability to get through these programs. With that said, as we are in 2022 and with over 60% of our population enrolled part-time, we need students to be here in the fall. And the great news is that EET program already exists. We'll be working on curriculum to add to that program in the fall, but there's no reason that we don't and won't want students to start with us in the fall. The other part, there's a couple other things too as we look at trying to widen the funnel for the number of students that we're getting into these programs. There is no way that COTC is going to serve the demand that Intel or the suppliers need. We're talking, you've heard the number 3,000, the 3,000 jobs that Intel will create up front, but that's not taking into account their suppliers. That's not taking into account the 7,000 construction jobs that will be available right here and now. So it really has to be the collaborative effort. You've heard the phrase, it takes a village. This is truly going to be a village level effort. We have to be looking not only in our high school populations, and of course that's where our partnership is already in place with CTech, will do us very, very well. But we also have to look at our adult population. And given that that CTech focuses both on secondary and the adult population, the two of us working together to get students into this pipeline is going to be crucial. I think the third part of the stool as well for us to focus on is what we call College Credit Plus, or CCP. And that's working with our high school partners and putting in a curriculum with a specific engineering pathway so that students in high school can attend and get a certificate, or at most even graduate with an associate's degree at the same time they cross the stage for their high school graduation. The great part about that is it doesn't cost the student anything. So you'll hear Dr. Berry talk a little bit later on with regard to our scholarships and the money that we have available to students. But the most cost-effective way for us to address this is a lot of times with the monies that we already have. CCP is one of those great avenues. So as we look at, again, the angle of and the idea that all 23 community colleges are going to have to play a role. Our 4-year partners absolutely have to play a role as we start to look at the baccalaureate and higher levels and the engineers that Intel and others will need to have. This isn't just a COTC thing. We are very happy that our Pataskala campus, this is going to be on the quiz later, so make sure you write this down, is just 9 minutes and 30 seconds away from the new site. But again, this is a partner and collaborative effort between us, CTEC, our 4-year partners, and every single one of the community colleges within the state. So on that note, I'd like to invite up to the podium the superintendent of CTEC of Licking County, Dr. Joyce Malainy.
Thank you, Eric. I appreciate that. And John, thank you again for the invitation. Really do value our partnerships. Can everyone hear me? Thank you. So at CTEC, the Career Technology Education Centers of Licking County, we are multi-focused. And starting in grades in kindergarten, grades K through 5, this upcoming school year, we'll be having a career development person in most of our, if not all of our associate school districts. So that's each of the 10 public school districts in Licking County, as well as the parochials, to help students start learning at those earlier ages, career options, and the pathways to those careers. We've been doing for a number of years middle school programming. And again, serving all of Licking County, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. CTEC has students in most of our associate districts with very clearly defined career development, career connections courses, focusing engineering, STEM, and then in general career exploration. And again, helping students in middle school understand career options and the pathways needed to get to those careers. An example I use frequently, if you've ever heard me speak, if you have any interest in becoming a physician, a medical doctor, you don't go through high school without taking advanced science, advanced math courses, and then simply apply to medical school. So students need to learn at earlier pathways. If that's their career goal, or whatever the career goal is, there are certain things you have to do during middle school, during high school. There are certain things you have to do to be successful during middle school and high school to get to that pathway. At the high school level, of course, we have over 750 students on campus earning very specific trade and skilled areas and earning credentials while they're graduating. And we have been supported by local business and industry partners for years, and we want to continue to be a workforce supplier of skilled trade for those partners as we look forward to all the new business and industry that's coming to the area. I will talk about at the high school level, our enrollment is increasing. We've actually had to add another section of welding and electricity for those high school juniors because there's such a need for those skills in particular. I'm very fortunate to be involved with our OTC, the Ohio Technical Center. We do a lot of the non-credit skilled training. Our OTC is for our adult students. We do a lot of the non-credit skilled training in partnership with COTC and anticipate continuing that partnership and continuing to see that grow. So we are, again, very well poised and very, very blessed to be in partnership and work so well together. We will be enhancing our high school partnerships. Our high school, we do a lot with College Credit Plus already, but really think that it's prime for some of our high school to associate work, especially in the areas that we've talked about. I think that will be very, very relevant. And as we talked about yesterday, since we're already in so many of the middle schools, it becomes a great conduit for enhancing during our Career Connections program. COTC is very definitely a pathway to lead forward if that's the career choice that you have. So I think that's everything I wanted to say, and appreciate being here, and thank you again. And let me see, John or Dr. MacDonald from OSU.
Thanks, Joyce, and thanks, Dr. Barry, for inviting me to be a part of this press conference. And I made a few notes on my phone while we were speaking, and if I hit the wrong button, you'll probably hear David Bowie. So I apologize in advance. It's really a pleasure to make a few remarks about the Bachelor's of Science in Engineering Technology program that will launch here in the fall of 2023 at Ohio State Newark. The curriculum has a manufacturing focus, and it was developed with input from manufacturing companies in Central Ohio and in each of the regions where Ohio State has regional campuses. And it's designed to do the following, to prepare our BSET graduates to do these things, to apply appropriate engineering technologies using 21st century models, to analyze problems using a systems approach, to bring the needs of people into the equation. And I often hear people say things about engineering folks and people, and we really need to be more people focused. Well, this program takes that into consideration, and it encourages the use of strong and develops students' skills with interpersonal and public communication skills. And this is, you can pull on this from the website if you care to look up the BSET curriculum. Our BSET graduates will be prepared to perform business analyses of decisions in both local and global contexts. So you might not be surprised to learn that there are some business courses mixed into the curriculum, including Lean Six Sigma, which I think is in the 4th year of the program. So because of the curricular design, we believe that the program will prepare students not only for jobs at Intel, but for jobs everywhere in Ohio's manufacturing sector. So here are my notes that an update from the notes I took on, entered on my phone. We are now searching for faculty. So program starts in the fall of 23. The curriculum is developed, but we need to develop the syllabi for the courses and to be delivered here specifically. We hope to rent space at CTech. Joyce and her staff and faculty at CTech have equipment that would really be beneficial to us. We've been over to tour, I think, a couple of different times, and are really grateful to even to consider the possibility that we might do that for, I think it's lab courses in I think it's the 2nd year of the program. We have some renovations to do here, and I will thank Dr. Barry and COTC for flexibility in giving us space in Hopewell Hall, which we'll need to renovate. That space will support lab courses that would occur in the 3rd year of the program. So we have some time. And most students who start at Ohio State Newark change over to the Columbus campus in their 2nd year. But for this program, they'll stay here for all 4 years. And so I think this is our 9th program. That is, we call those degree completion programs. But this is a program that's not going to be available at the Columbus campus. Just as our business management program is unique to the regional campuses, this program will be unique to the regional campuses. And we also offer, I don't know if people know this, but we offer, I think each of the regional campuses offers the 1st year of the engineering degree. And so some students who start here in engineering may find that the BSET is a better option, and it won't be difficult for them to make a switch. So I think I'll leave it there. Happy to take questions when the time is right. Thanks, John. Thank you.
All right. I hate standing behind this podium. I hate it. So I'm coming out and talking to you all. So really what you heard from our collaborator today is, remember we talked about ecosystems. This is an educational ecosystem that we are going to be working with one another, with other partners within all of our communities, particularly at that K through 12 level. I know Brittany works with Lakewood schools, and we've already started talking with our superintendents, talking about needing to get students before middle school, thinking about tracks and opportunities for these types of jobs. And we're talking the array. So we talked in educational alignment. Our manufacturing sector is an ecosystem of their own. They provide everything and anything you can think of, and they work with employees at every level. Some people can tell me your name, my friend.
Frank.
Could take Frank, and Frank can say, you know what, I've always thought about doing some manufacturing, but I don't know anything about it. Frank, come on in. We're gonna work with you, we're gonna get you ramped up and trained to do whatever our company does. And then you have the people at the opposite end of the spectrum who said, I have to have a certain skilled labor workforce that's gonna require an associate's degree as an entry point before we do any training, and everything in between. So there is a large opportunity for people at various sundry places. What we have to do is respond to each and every one of those. What do we as educators provide for each one of those? Until we know they are requiring that associate's degree level work, we have to create those fast tracks for and get people immersed in them quickly. So that's what you've heard an awful lot about today. But you know, one of the things I talk about with our advanced manufacturing sector is they, of course, they manufacture products, but they do so much more than that. They manufacture opportunity, they manufacture culture, they manufacture communities, they manufacture prosperity. And we have to make sure that we are serving each and every one of those partners at the rate that they need. This is a connection of collaborators that we will utilize that strength and continue to serve those who we have built with, and we will continue to serve those who are new to our communities. We do know that Intel will probably be the first of the semiconductor groups. There will be others that will follow with them. There will be other opportunities that they will also bring a myriad of new population into our communities that can backfill other opportunities for each and every one of us. We've talked about this whole rising tide in the boat, and you know, we've all used that analogy. It's a big ass boat. You know, there's an awful lot for us to really do. We have to remember there's so much work ahead of us to make this happen. What we are saying is, from an education perspective, we are ready to serve because we need to serve now. So if you can help us in terms of making sure that the messaging is delivered to all the various and sundry members of our communities, we will be very, very appreciative. I have to go back behind the podium. So I want to make sure that I truly thank the people that you see here, and I thank each and every one of you for being here today. We want to partner, we probably partner with all of you in some way, shape, or form already. We have to exercise that at significantly larger levels at this point. So after all the details you've learned this morning about partnerships, revised academic programming, and multiple options, we want to tell you about several more critical initiatives, including COTC's commitment to affordability and helping every student succeed. Because this is as important as what you've heard about opportunity. How do you engage in this? And how do you make this goal or vision occur? Thanks to the generosity of many donors and tremendous community support, I'm proud to say that COTC offers more than $1 million in scholarships annually, including some that are explicitly dedicated to an engineering track. Last year, our friends and colleagues at the Heath Newark Licking County Port Authority announced they were making a $1 million investment in STEM education to meet current and future workforce needs. The Port Authority STEM Scholarship will provide financial assistance to students at COTC and Ohio State Newark who are from Licking County and pursuing STEM programs. It will also benefit individuals who work at any business located on the Port Authority's Central Ohio Aerospace and Technology Center campus. Can you get that smaller, Rick? That is hard to say. Okay, the Port Authority area, we'll call it that, and their families of employees. The first $50,000 will be available now during the 2022-23 academic year, and they have generously pledged to continue making a $50,000 annual gift through at least 2041. The funding will provide crucial financial support for students to fill critical career opportunities in STEM in Licking County. We are incredibly grateful for their support, and it will make a difference in the lives of many students. Importantly, COTC also increased affordability by awarding College Credit Plus for what students have already done in their high school. You heard about that alignment. But even more so, now we're talking about college credit for experiences, for past work opportunities. We've always done some of this, but this is going to be more critical now for those adult learners, those people in the fields who have experience, but now we need to translate that into academic credit. We'll work to save students time and money for expressing what work they've learned and now what credit they can earn. We will work with that in the review process, and we will award what we can where it's relevant. This will be invaluable, helping students save both time and money to earning their degree. We also have substantially invested in additional resources to help our students keep on track for success. This year, COTC hired our first ever Chief Diversity Officer, Dr. Brianna Johnson, whom we share with Ohio State Newark. And Brianna, I know you're here, if you could just wave for us, appreciate that. So Dr. Johnson is very focused on diversity, equity, and inclusion issues, and will help us define strategies to ensure that we are opening and offering a safe, welcoming, and supportive learning environment for every student. Diversity, equity, and inclusion are strategic priorities for both COTC and OSU Newark, and Dr. Johnson is already working to provide forums for dialogue on campus surrounding DEI topics and in reaching out to raise awareness and strengthen community partnerships. Finally, the college has redesigned our Student Success Center, which will now provide holistic supports for students throughout every aspect of their lives. Along with traditional tutoring and learning skills, our success coaches will help students overcome other barriers that often lead to less than successful outcomes or even dropping out of school. Those barriers we talk about are things like housing, childcare, transportation, food insecurities. Our success coaches will connect students with local resources so they can stay on track in their academic programs. So I recently learned, and this is incredibly important, that the majority of students at two-year colleges who step out or drop out, they have a B average in their classes. There's students that can and will succeed, they need support. Imagine this, and we talked about this yesterday. Imagine that you are surfing on couches at friends' homes trying to be an engineer. That doesn't really equate very well. If we can help those students at the very beginning of their academic journey, to help them find alternatives to that, to be able to focus on the types of things that we just described, that's what we need to do. They are often living on the brink, just one challenge away from having to give up on their educational dreams. We need to do everything that we can to keep students in school, and we will do so. We're extremely excited to share these updates and acknowledge each of this with you today. It's our privilege to offer these opportunities to all of Central Ohio. The future is here, and the time is now. We encourage everyone from high school students to those who want to change careers, to those who never thought about going to college at all, to take advantage of the many career opportunities in this evolving technology climate to change and improve the trajectory of their lives. As I said earlier, COTC is preparing the workforce of tomorrow, and I'd like to add that the result will be a better tomorrow for all of us. All right, that's the spiel. You got the whole spiel. I'm done behind this thing. Now, I get to come back out and talk to you. So you've heard a little bit about what we're planning to do from an educational point. We also know that we do not live in a vacuum. We're talking about colleagues and friends who represent all kinds of significant role playing here. Housing, transportation, all of those elements are going to be a part of this overall solution strategy. But this is what we do. This is our subject matter expertise. What can we answer for you of anything that you either heard or did not hear today that you'd like to have some elaboration on or other connection to? And we're educators. We can stand here and just stare at you all day. So, yes, my friend.
I am curious with the tuition assistance, is there anything that Intel is providing for that?
Great question. So if you did not hear, as obviously we talked about our own individual assistance program, is Intel looking to supplement anything from their perspective? They are already right now offering some grants to, right now it's the higher education sector. So it's 2-year, 4-year partners. They are going to be talking to their K through 12 partners about other supplemental support. They have not gotten to that part yet. But we can apply for grants opportunities right now to support just about anything from our faculty to curriculum development to building needs, upwards of $50 million investment to all of higher ed in the state. So we're all looking to apply for some of that. We don't know the outcome of that and have yet to experience, but we should know that by, is it Eric, sometime in August, the final version of that will be out. They have not done this process in 40 years. So to them, this is, we're almost recreating a process and working with partners and collaborators. They've been very supportive of this process. We will continue to partner with them directly. But yes, their money is somewhat where their mouth is as well. Appreciate that.
I probably don't need the mic.
Thanks, Mayor.
It's funny, before the words college credit plus were mentioned, that was what was going through my mind. I have a daughter who is more than a semester ahead toward her bachelor's degree because of the college credit plus classes that she took in high school. So the idea of offering that toward a advanced manufacturing associate's degree, I think is exciting because it helps to lock in those individuals as high school students toward that kind of path. I agree totally that you need to reach these kids at the middle school level. Is there also considerations being given as to how you reach their parents at the middle school level? Because honestly, that's probably more important than reaching the students themselves.
So, thank you, Mark. I think, I agree 100%. It's the parents, that we have to do, and I know at CTEC, especially with our middle school students, we provide many opportunities for the parents to come in and see what it is we're doing at CTEC. Our middle school teachers that individually do some work with drawing parents in, inviting parents in to get to those career classes, but that is, you've hit the nail on the head. And one thing that we see as K-12 educators, as the students get older, much of the parent participation decreases. So open for options, open for discussion, because we do think it's very important that the parents understand pathways as well, because they need that. So we've tried different things. We've tried different open houses. We've tried different summer camps. We've tried all kinds of different things in that regard, and it is vital.
I would add too, I think, a couple of things. One, certainly in that middle school population, I think there's a lot of students that don't see themselves as college material. We need to change that mentality because we have a place for everyone, and we want them to see that there's a future there, even if no one in their family's ever gone to college before. So that's, I think, another reason to start hitting those middle school students first. I think the other thing too that we talked about, and we talked about this yesterday as well with the folks that were there, changing perceptions, right? So people hear manufacturing, especially for those that maybe have been in the workforce, we won't comment on their age, but have been there for a while. It was a different style of manufacturing. It looked different. It was oftentimes dirty and dingy and all the things that come along with that. I think as we build out for Intel and others, being able to get those parents into a clean room to see what happens in a room like that, because certainly you're not going to be able to get into Intel or their suppliers themselves. I mean, there's security concerns and all the others, but like we've talked about, and as we expand campus here in Pataskala, as we build out our classrooms and labs to mimic those spaces, getting them on site and in there, I think can go a long way towards changing attitudes. And you know, frankly, I think the one that hits home the most is when you start talking about what the salaries for these jobs look like. All of a sudden that can change some minds as well. I mean, you know, you're looking at likely at well into the $70,000 range for a technician with a 2-year degree. That's pretty darn good for an associate's degree, and you tack on benefits to that, and you're well over 6 figures at that point. So I think it's definitely a combination. Your point is well taken. The changing the old stereotypes and perceptions of what manufacturing was versus what it is and where it's going is going to be number one as we start to get folks interested.
Thanks, Eric. I would just add that there is a great resource in the community that we've worked with to reach middle schoolers and their parents, and that is the Works. The Works in Ohio State Newark has a program that is part of a national program called Kids Tech University. And when we offer Kids Tech programming, we will bring a group of maybe 30 to 40 middle schoolers into campus, and for usually it's a half-day session with one of our faculty members who's developed a program appropriate for that age range. And when we bring the kids in, we also bring the parents in, and we offer a separate session for them to learn about opportunities, how to get financial aid, and how we can help them see that, or help them see that college is really accessible. And we'll continue that, and we'll look for more opportunities to work with the works in that regard.
I appreciate that. And Mark, the other thing I would tell you is what we have to help our K-12 partners are building seamless streams and easy access points. A lot of we used to work with just about any school. We wanted to do any college credit plus, no matter what it was, whether it had meaning or purpose to COTC or not. Oh, you want a history class? Sure, we'll go out there and teach history class. Well, that doesn't have much purpose for a career orientation, not for us and not necessarily for most of the students. So we have created pathways. Like right now, we have an engineering design pathway that K-12 partners can look to institute. So theoretically, students can graduate with their high school diploma and their associate's degree simultaneously. We're working with partners already in that. Number in Knox County, Reynoldsburg High School. We know that CTEC has aspirations to do more with us on that front, and we're excited about that as well. Just opening these funnels widely to help families make choices. That's really what we're talking about, informed choice making. And one of the things, and you heard that from Eric, making sure that you understand what today's manufacturing environment is all about. The one thing that Intel does for all of manufacturing sectors right now in Central Ohio is provide a spotlight. Right now, there is a heavy spotlight on this industry sector. We have to take advantage of that, help people understand what really is there, and that there are so many opportunities for onboarding, on and off ramps, that you can really make this a significant career of great benefit. Appreciate that. Other questions, thoughts, perspectives?
I would just want to say thank you and kudos to you all for collaborating. And this isn't seen everywhere, and this is awesome opportunity for our current workforce to upskill and our next generation. It's just phenomenal. So I want to thank you and for being so proactive. The announcement was just in January. I know a lot of you already went out to Intel to make sure that the curriculum was set to help them and other manufacturers. So I just, again, thank you so much.
I appreciate Jennifer, and Jennifer and I worked together on her board, so she had to say something nice to me, so. but I appreciate it. But one of the things that she does bring, and this is a concern for all of us, is Intel wants to be open and fully functional in 2025. That's a hot minute away, if you really think about. In terms of the sector development, building up to that, we have so much work to do, and if we don't collaborate, we'll never do it. We have to do. We've always been good about this. We just have to be even better. And we would say that, you heard Eric talk about this, all the 23 colleges and universities, the two-year colleges and universities, have to play a role into some of this. Now, some of us who are closer in proximity, we have to produce. We have to make sure that there are workforce opportunities and workforce streams in that. But we all have to be a part of that. And all of our communities are going to grow. One way or the other, they're going to grow. Are we going to manage it or be managed by it? And we would choose to try to be more proactive and get out there ahead of it, where we can, how we can, and work with all of our collaborators within the community. Appreciate that. Thoughts, questions, perspectives? Checking the time. And we even have 10 more minutes, so it's up to you though. We can make some closing remarks. If anybody else has another thought or a question. Go back. You know what? I'm not going back. I'm staying out here with you. So, no, seriously, I want to thank each and every one of you for being a part of today's discussion. This is a kickoff. We've been working at this for a while. We're going to continue to work on it for a long time to go. What we wanted people to recognize is don't wait. Now's the time. If you are interested in this as a career opportunity alignment at any level, if you're interested in the advanced manufacturing sector, now's the time to get invested and involved. Take an opportunity to learn about this process, learn about what it's like to be in this industry. Where were we that they just had the manufacturing council? Was it MPW? At MPW. I have driven by MPW hundreds of times and always wondered what the heck they do in there. It's a beautiful facility. Well, they had the manufacturing council. It is a beautiful facility. It's a great working environment. It's a great place to be. But so much of what they have to do behind closed doors. So if you want to learn more about these industries themselves, please talk to any of us, talk to the Port Authority, talk to anyone that works in that sector. Getting more experience and investment in this is good for all of us. We're very, very excited about where this is going. It is a daunting task. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But we're ready to do it. I think we're all committed, we're aligned. We are excited to work with each and every one of you as well. So we appreciate you all being here today. Please let us know if there's anything else that we can do, any of us, to partner with you or give you more information. But thank you for being here, and get ready for a wild ride. Take care.